A Picture Book of Thomas Jefferson by David A. Adler, illustrated by John and Alexandra Woolner. Thomas Jefferson was born on April 13, 1743, in a four-room wooden house in Virginia. Thomas was the third of 10 children. He was tall, had red hair, and freckles. Young Thomas was curious and always eager to learn. He learned to hunt from his father. He learned how to plow, weave, and shoe a horse. Thomas made friends with Indians living nearby and learned from them too. When Thomas was 14, his father, Peter Jefferson, died. He left Thomas more than 2,000 acres of land, his desk, his bookcase, and his library of some 40 books. Peter Jefferson also left Thomas some slaves. The slaves were black people who were brought from Africa to America, where they were sold. Thomas Jefferson said he hated slavery. He said that everyone had a right to be free. When he was a member of the Virginia government, he tried to pass laws ending the buying and selling of slaves, but still, throughout his life, he had slaves of his own. When Thomas was 16, he went to the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. He worked hard and was a good student. In 1767, he designed and began to build a house for himself. He built it on a small mountain in Virginia near where he was born. Thomas called the house Monticello, which is Italian for Little Mountain. A few years later, Thomas fell in love with Martha Wales Skelton. They married on New Year's Day in 1772 and lived in Monticello. Thomas loved to invent useful things. He invented a better plow for farmers, a swivel chair, and a folding ladder. And he was open to new ideas. He was among the first Americans to take a vaccine to prevent smallpox. In 1768, Thomas was elected to the Virginia legislature, the House of Burgesses. Members of the Virginia House of Burgesses and lawmakers in other colonies were beginning to speak out against England. Thomas wrote the Declaration of Independence. The words he wrote in that declaration are among the most famous and the most important words ever written. The leaders of the colonies approved the Declaration of Independence on July 4, 1776. 4 years later, in 1800, Thomas Jefferson was elected the third President of the United States. In 1804, he was re-elected for a second term. He was a very popular president. Thomas didn't want people to make a fuss over him. He didn't want the country to celebrate his birthday, so he didn't tell anyone when it was. As a president, Thomas Jefferson lowered taxes. He sent American soldiers to fight a group of pirates in northern Africa. After his second term as president, Thomas Jefferson returned to Monticello. During his later years, Thomas Jefferson helped to start the University of Virginia. On July 4, 1826, Thomas Jefferson died exactly 50 years after the Declaration of Independence had been approved. Thomas Jefferson was one of our country's great leaders. He believed that all people had a right to be free. He believed that people should govern themselves. That is why he has been called the father of our democracy.